Hey everyone, Theron Asbury here with Revital Outdoors, bringing you another exciting podcast. Tonight we have another winning podcast for you. We're actually interviewing Mr. Aric Stoner, a winning co-angler from this last weekend, the Great Lakes Division BFL tournament on Lake St. Clair. Aric is from Ontario, so this is our first Canadian-based angler that we've gotten to interview on this podcast, so we're very excited to talk to him. He had over 22 pounds as a co-angler this last weekend on Lake St. Clair, a huge bag for the back of the boat, so we're very excited to talk to Aric. Real quick before we get started, let's stop for a quick commercial. Are you an outdoor enthusiast that suffers from inflammation, trouble sleeping at night, or anxiety? Do you experience joint discomfort or aches and sorenesses in your back and shoulders that inhibit you from being out in the field or on the water doing what you love to do? Are you also an outdoor enthusiast that's looked into CBD products, but you don't want to swallow a pill? Well, Revital Outdoors has a perfect solution for you with our delicious CBD gummies. We have 2 flavors in our CBD gummies, including strawberry lemonade, which is a favorite among our pro staff and outdoor enthusiasts. And then new for 2023 is our green apple flavoring. Each bottle contains 30 gummies, which is a 1-month supply. Each gummy comes with 10 milligrams of our premium CBD broad spectrum oil. And then also our gummies are made with sugarcane and organic ingredients. So check them out on our website. See the link right below this video and use the code YouTube20 to save 20% on your first order. Also, don't forget, if you spend $100 or more on our website, you receive 2 days shipping for free. So check them out on our website. Hit that link and start shopping today. With that being said, let's get back to the podcast. All right, thank you for joining us back on this podcast. Again, we have Mr. Aric Stoner from Canada. He is the winning co-angler from this past weekend's BFL Great Lakes Division tournament on Lake St. Clair. So a lot of great content coming your way. Before we get started, Revital Outdoors is very excited to announce we are still taking entries into our $2,500 Sweepstakes giveaway for a lucky angler at the end of the BFL season. This is a great giveaway that no angler is going to want to miss out on. We've got great partners such as the Rod Glove, Cigar Line, Costa Del Mar, Lose, Strike King. A lot of great partners involved for this, so it's not a giveaway any angler wants to miss out on. But all you have to do to enter is hit that link at the top of the description right below this video. It just takes a few seconds to do so. So make sure you pause this video and hit that link and get entered in. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. That way you get notified when all of our content is dropping. I want to say a big shout out to all the anglers we've gotten to interview on this podcast this year. We've had a lot of great success and fun with it. It's really been awesome. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. That's Revital Outdoors. And without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Aric straight into the studio from Canada. Aric, how you doing this evening?
Great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. First question I have for you is, how's the weather up there?
It's cooler today. It was hot Saturday, though.
Really? Okay. We're increasing almost the triple digits every day down here in Florida. So I would imagine it's not near as hot up there.
No, not even on Saturday. I guess I forget how blessed we are as far as the weather we get compared to the summer down south. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, she was a little bit hot Saturday, but today it's beautiful. Can't complain.
I got you. So, man, let's talk about it. First and foremost, congratulations on your win this last weekend. I believe that's your first BFL win as a co-angler, fishing with in the Great Lakes Division. So it's really cool to see you walk away with that one. Man, you had an absolutely enormous bag of fish. I did hear that you had a mixed bag of smallmouth and largemouth in there. So, man, let's talk about your tournament. Talk to us about the day, your draw, everything that just kind of went into that magical day for you to walk away with it.
Absolutely. And if I may, I'll just clarify a couple things. Fished on St. Clair, which is actually the Michigan division, but part of the Great Lakes. So same difference, but just division-wise, we are in Michigan.
Okay.
I did have a mixed bag for most part of the day, but the last fish I called out was actually a 3-pound largemouth out of 19 foot of water. So figure that one out. It doesn't happen often up here. You grind them, you get the ditch pickles when you have to, but you don't normally get them where the smallmouth lives. So that was kind of neat to see.
Right. So, well, walk us through a little bit about maybe how you caught your fish. And I am curious, there's a lot of factors against the co-angler. I know myself because I'm a co-angler. We've spoken to a lot of co-anglers on this podcast. There's so many factors against the co-angler. They don't know what draw they're going to get. They don't know where they're going throughout the day, may or may not get any information that could help them. So it's kind of a mixed emotion, when you launch that morning. But, if you will, maybe also talk about not only your tournament, but kind of enlighten how you were able to figure out what the fish were doing. Like, what did you have confidence in? What did you think they were doing as far as which stage of the spawn they were in?
Absolutely. And first thing, just to answer your question about how tough it is as a co-angler, 100% there. Um, and on that note, I really have to give a shout out to my boater, Robert Gross, whom you are acquainted with. He was absolutely the best boater I've ever drawn. Like, he treated it like it was a team deal. And to me, that's the way to be. You know, a lot of times you get boaters that they want to do them, and that's understandable. That's how the tournament goes. But when you can work together in those situations, sometimes success can happen, and Saturday was a real reflection of that. So I'm very grateful and thankful to have been his draw for the day. As far as what the fish are doing, I think there was probably some fish that were still up on beds, but on St. Clair this time of year, the big deal is the Mayfly Hatch. There's a big hatch that happens last couple weeks of June, and we kind of got right in the thick of it. And we weren't 100% sure what we were going to do for the day, but we sort of stumbled on something mid-morning that really put us on a neat way to fish for them. We were actually idling over to one of the spots we were going to fish, and Robert happened to notice out the bow of the boat a couple swirls and a big brown back sticking out of the water, and we're in like 19 and a half foot of water. And so we just sort of stuck around there and started throwing baits at them. I was primarily fishing a tube and a drop shot. We did have a little bit of topwater action. Kind of surprised that there wasn't a spy bait bite, given that it was last calm out. But most of the fish I caught were on a tube. But the big one at first thing in the morning was actually on a drop shot.
Okay. You know, up there where you're at, Lake St. Clair, I think Lake St. Clair is the most notorious lake and area for it. You got a lot of anglers pouring their own tube baits. They've gotten molds. They've had molds made. They're pouring their own plastics. Are you that guy that has somebody or yourself pouring your own, or are you just a standard straight out of the pack that you can buy at a bait store?
Well, I do pour some of my own baits. I like pouring swim baits because I go through a lot of them when I'm largemouth fishing, and I recycle plastic. It's kind of a hobby of mine, but the tube I use is actually locally made out of Michigan. It's called Snack Daddy. Honestly, opinion, I think they're the best smallmouth tube on the market. I'm not sponsored by them. I'd love to be, but they're just the deal. I've been using them for years, and I can't say enough about them. That's actually what I used that day. I got an example of what it is. This is their smoke with gold and purple flake. I think it looks just like a goby. Maybe the fish thought it looked like a mayfly that day. I don't know, but it really worked out for me.
Definitely the same kind of coloration between the mayfly larvae and the goby. So definitely can see the resemblance there. Are you a co-angler that likes to just drag and fish very, very slowly? Or are you another one, you know, another thing with a lot of locals up there, they like to whip and snap and really fish a tube very violently and erratically.
Honestly, a tube is what I cut my teeth on as far as bass fishing in general. So there's literally not a way that I don't fish it. My preference is, as you've probably seen on like Zona's videos, is to crack it. And I got on that pattern in 2019. Before, I was just a drift and drag guy as far as smallmouth, and I do different things with it for largemouth and whatnot. But as soon as I really learned the finer art of how to crack a tube, that's when I started getting bigger fish. And that's what I do most of the time, but I will let the conditions dictate what we do.
Okay. How many keepers? You said you called that largemouth out later in the day, but how many keepers did you end up catching?
I think I had about 8 or 9. I called, I think, 3 times. So yeah, that 8 fish at least. There was one that I lost at the boat, which on a crankbait, kind of a rookie mistake. I had him coming, and then I turned just at the last second, and then he just came unbuttoned. I knew what I did. And, fortunately for Robert, though, he pitched in after it, and he managed to get his first fish of the day on that. So it worked out in the end for one of us.
Yeah, absolutely. So besides the tube and the crankbait, was there anything else? I'm very shocked to hear that they weren't eating a spy bait that day. That is just this time of year in the summertime when the sun gets high, you got dead calm, which is very rare on Lake St. Clair. It's lights out with that spy bait. So I'm very shocked to hear that bite wasn't happening. But was there anything else bait-wise that, you know, helped you end up with the win?
Well, I would say the fish that pushed me over the edge, like I said, I got a couple of fish on the drop shot in the afternoon to round out my bag, but the big one I got, the 5.9, first thing in the morning, came on a custom poured bait by my buddy. Tom Smith started his own company called Full Contact Baits, and he calls it the OG worm. I'm not sure what it represents, but It's kind of a cool deal. It's got a nice little shimmy in the water, and I was basically just video game fishing. I was watching the graph. I saw a line of bait, and then an arch appeared right below it, pitched behind the boat, and there, set the hook, missed him, opened the bail right away, dropped it back down, and then she was on.
I got you. Well, good for you, Aric. Well, Aric, you ended up winning this tournament this last weekend, so good for you. Great way to start the year. Obviously, you're leading points right now, so great momentum going into the rest of the year. You've won this tournament. That means you're automatically qualified from the Michigan division to go to that regional. But what's your goals throughout the rest of the year? Are you fishing any other tournaments in Canada? Are you fishing? I assume you're going to fish the rest of the BFL season this year. So what kind of lies ahead of you for 2022?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to continue with the goals. Every year I set out a goal like I'd like to weigh a big fish. I'd like to win one. I want to qualify for the regional and go to the regional, hopefully do well enough to make the All-American, and just continually set small goals to reach those bigger goals. And hopefully I can advance as far as I'd like to. As far as other stuff, there's a local largemouth series here that I'm planning to fish with my nephew. He's just a young guy. He's just 13, turned to, I guess it would have been September. I don't know why I can't remember my family members' birthdays, but he's 13 and he's just getting started and kind of being a bit of a mentor to him, and he loves it. So that's the kind of stuff that kind of fills the weekends between the BFLs to keep me fishing, and I'm looking forward to that as well, just as much, to be honest. So it, should be a good summer.
Absolutely. And thank you for taking your nephew fishing. That's really awesome to see any adult out there get kids involved in fishing. I've always said it's the greatest sport on earth. And if you can get kids introduced to fishing at an early age, they'll never have any money to get themselves in trouble later down the road. So really cool to see you doing that. Before we let you go, Aric, looking at your social media, I know you got a lot of great family outside of your nephew that support you. A lot of people around there in Canada and northern Michigan that help you out as an angler as well. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, definitely my number one supporter, my wife, Karen. She gives me the business, but in a good way. She makes sure that I stay focused and stay on target. And my family, otherwise, my mom and dad, they've supported me from day one. I've got a lot of friends who, they saw my post on Facebook, and it was just nice to see how everyone just sort of comes together like a community like that. And I'm forever grateful for the people I have around me, because, you can have all the skill in the world, you can have all the money in the world to do these things, but at the end of the day, the guys that really do well are the ones who have family and friends that are good to them. And without that, it's just, it's one extra stressor. And without having that stress of people, for lack of a better term, being naysayers and trying to push you in the other direction, that just makes it so much harder to advance in this sport in a lot of ways. So I can't say how grateful I am for everyone that's around me.
Yeah, amen. That's a very good statement, very strong statement. So, well, Aric, really appreciate you coming on the podcast. Want to wish you the best of luck this year. Best of luck to all the anglers fishing the rest of the 2022 season in all the BFL divisions. Before we let everybody go, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, you've been watching the rotating banner below this video. Hit that link at the top of the description right below this video. Enter into that $2,500 sweepstakes giveaway. I promise you, no angler out there is going to want to miss out on this one. And always, thank you for tuning into this podcast. Be safe out there, everyone. God bless. We'll talk to everyone very, very soon.